There it is.
What is up, folks? It's your boy G here from Hybrid BMX, and welcome to the second episode of Thursday Thoughts. Today we're going to be going over Proximity Erie, which is kind of like TEDx Talk, kind of an entrepreneurial group here in Erie. It's a smaller group. It's probably about, when I went, there was about 12 people there. I still haven't signed up as a complete member yet. It was my trial run. So that's what I'm going to be going over here with you. If you live in Erie and you're interested, once I become a member, I will bring you along for one of the meetings. I still have to pay my subscription in order to go for the year. There's a certain monthly fee, and I don't know how much it is. But depending on how much it is, I'm planning on still doing it. The next one's going to be February 22nd, and it is going to be about making good decisions. This one was about how to unsuck your goals. It was run by the co-founder is Andy Kerr. He is the co-founder of Proximity. In addition to his long list of past accomplishments, Andy is a John Maxwell certified life coach, and he's a chaplain at the Erie City Mission and a frequent keynote speaker, and he was very, very helpful to me during this process, which I'll explain to you guys later on in this video. And then there was Daryl Hamer as well, co-founder of Proximity. Daryl founded Hamer, a change management consulting, creative design, and architectural visualization business, and recently authored a book called Changing Change. So, great guy, both of them great guys. It was a really cool event, and I really, really enjoyed it. So we went over, really, first bullet note was, what is a goal? So, really, what is a goal? Because like you could say that, getting a peanut butter, I'm gonna make the most peanut butter sandwiches. I think that's what Andy said. He's like, I could make 1 million peanut butter sandwiches because I love peanut butter sandwiches, and that could be my goal. But that's kind of a silly goal, right? Making 1 million peanut butter sandwiches just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So your goals have to make sense. It has to be something that you want within a certain context. That's kind of the point of a goal, is to make a real goal. So like for me, for instance, is growing this channel. It is growing my used BMX business, being a good coach for my son's baseball team, and many other things, which we will go over here shortly. But there's other things that go along with goal building. A lot of companies use this. They call it SMART. It's an acronym, and more than just making smart decisions, making smart goals, but it's also an acronym. And that acronym spells out like this. So the S stands for specific or detailed. So your goal has to be specific to what you're doing, and it has to be detailed to what you're doing. So you have to make sure that it is specific to the thing you're doing. So like I'm doing BMX, so I shouldn't be doing, and I made this mistake early on with this channel, is I tried to do like a Linkin Park video thing where, I brought Linkin Park up in a video, which was just dumb. And I did another one on what happened down south a year or two ago, and my opinion on it. It just wasn't, it didn't work because it wasn't specific to my channel. So that's why it didn't blend well. M is for measurable, or like tracking and portioning. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you can measure your goals. So for instance, with this channel, the way I can measure this goal is very easy. YouTube makes it very easy for me because I can look at the trends of my channel. I can look at how many subscribers I have, and monthly they send me in my email box how many subscribers I've had, how many minutes of video have been watched, and I can make trajectories on what videos were successful, what videos weren't, and cater my videos more toward that. The used BMX business is a little bit less measurable. I guess I can measure that once I start selling bikes. It'll be a little bit easier to measure. Right now I can't really measure it simply because I haven't sold any products yet. So right now I'm in the building process of the business. So in the building process, I could probably go out there and do, and I've done some market research on how used BMX bikes sell, and they sell okay. They don't sell great. It's a niche market. So what I'm trying to do is perfect that niche market so that way people want to buy used bikes. It's not something that they just go out and, well, why would I spend that much money when I could just go buy a new one, or I could go buy one from Walmart. And trying to explain that via my YouTube channel is a good way to do that. The A in SMART is for attainable, but this goes back to the whole peanut butter sandwich thing. If you're hungry, you're gonna make yourself a peanut butter sandwich, right? Or if you're hungry, you're gonna make yourself a meal. That's attainable, but is it compelling? Is the other side of that. Can you make it compelling? Is it going to be something that's worth your while? Is it something that you're going to be able to pursue and chase after because you're passionate about it? So you're not going to be passionate about a peanut butter sandwich, but for maybe the 3 minutes it takes you to get some bread off the top of the fridge and get out the peanut butter and make a sandwich. If you're passionate about peanut butter sandwiches, it's not going to be a very long-term goal. And to make long-term goals attainable, you have to be compelled to do them. Yes, there is a certain amount of measure where you're going to be saying, this is really hard and I don't want to do this some days. Like, for instance, tonight I was really just not going to make a video. This is actually Wednesday night and I'm doing this for Thursday. That's because I have a opportunity that I'm walking into here that I'm going to actually be doing a little bit less YouTube, or if I'm going to continue doing the YouTube that I'm doing right now, I have to cater my time around it. So in order to do that, I'm going a day ahead now. So that's another way of catering to your goals, right? Okay. R is in SMART is realistic. Is your goal realistic? And also, some people will say, is it relevant? Again, is it relevant to your? That's kind of like going back to the specific, detailed thing. Is it relevant? And is it realistic? Is it a realistic goal? So, if you say to yourself, in 6 months I'm gonna climb Mount Everest, but you've never even gotten on a treadmill, the chances of you actually making it to the summit of Mount Everest are highly unlikely, even if you had the money in order to do it. Because it does cost quite a bit of money to travel to the Himalayas and climb Mount Everest. So, and it's a daunting task. It's more of a daunting task than people think. So no, it's not just as simple as doing that. So is it a realistic goal to say in 6 months I'm going to climb Mount Everest? No. When it comes to BMX, I can easily say, I'm going to learn backflips this year. No. No. I'm nowhere near a foam pit. If I am, I'm 2 hours away from that foam pit, and I don't have money to travel right now. So it's not realistic for me to say in 6 months I'm going to learn how to do, or in a year I'm going to learn how to do backflips. It's just not going to happen. A more realistic goal for me would be to learn bar spins. So make a trick list, but not one that's crazy. But again, we'll get back to that in a little bit here. So the other thing, the last letter is T, and it's one of the most important actually. It's time sensitive. Do this by when. So you have to have, in your goals, you have to say, okay, I'm going to have this goal done by this. Or I'm going to have this mile marker of this goal set by this date. I'm going to have it done. Because when people set goals that are long range, you really have to be committed, but you also have to say, okay, what's the end game here? When am I going to say that this is a completed goal and I can move on to the next goal? For me, that's building this used BMX business, but again, we'll get into this in a little bit as to how I'm forming my goals. So we'll get into that in a minute. So there are vital behaviors for your goals as well. You need to focus on what you really want. So you need to place your time around that. So right now, I'll be honest, I'd rather be upstairs playing video games than making a video and freezing my butt off downstairs. That's why I got the jacket on, because I tell you guys, it's cold out here. I did a little scientific test earlier because it's like negative something in Erie right now, probably like -3 by this point. The lowest I got during the day was -2. That was a couple hours ago. So I took a glass of water and I put it outside for an hour while Mason and I were watching Star Wars. And I came back an hour later and it was frozen. The top layer was frozen about a quarter inch thick. So, yeah, it's one of those things where I'm trying to think of what I was trying to get at here. I don't want to freeze my butt off, but I'm here anyway. I don't want to be doing this, but I'm here because it's important to me and it's important to my goals. I can't grow my YouTube channel if I'm sitting on my keister playing video games in a nice, warm upstairs bedroom. So, you need to have also a connective goal, or a connective link between you and your goal. My connective link, obviously, for BMX is that I've been in it for so long. I've loved this sport since I was a little kid. I remember reading Ride BMX magazine when I was knee-high to a tadpole, you know. Just a little guy. I think I was like maybe 7 or 8 years old. I was about Mason's age when I started, you know, really wanting to get into BMX. And I didn't end up actually getting my first true BMX bike until I was in my preteen age. But I always loved the sport. I always sought after the sport, and that's why I think what's so great about what I do now for BMX is that I'm able to look beyond the idea of becoming a pro. There's more to BMX than just becoming a pro BMX biker, racer, freestyle rider, whatever. There's marketing involved. There's ramp building involved. There's what I'm doing, the used BMX business, or the bicycle selling business of any kind of retail bike selling. Excuse me, guys. I gotta. You know when you gotta sneeze in your nose and you can feel it? You know what's coming? Excuse me. Well, that's horrible during a video, but there you go. Sorry. Excuse me. It's amazing how a sneeze will make you forget things. But what I was talking about is how there's other avenues in the business, but you have to have a link between you and your goal. So, like, if I just decided one day I woke up in the morning and I'm like, oh, well, I'm going to try to do this because I think it's cool, but you don't really have a plan or a goal, there's nothing really connecting you to it. Let me show you a great example. Hold on just a second, guys. Let me show you, I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to show you guys a great example of what happens when you decide to just chase after something because you think it's cool. Hold on just a second. Okay, guys, so this behind me, RC Truck 1, RC Truck 2, RC Truck 3, this is what happens when you chase after a goal because you think it's cool. Before I ever started Team Hybrid BMX as a channel, I got into just watching YouTube videos, and I ran across this RC YouTuber named RC Sparks. And if you guys are into hobby RC cars, then you'll know that his channel is extremely enticing because he always gets these new RC cars and he's always updating and he always has all kinds of new stuff that he's playing with, and he makes RCing seem very, very cost effective. And I'll be honest, it is a humongous money pit. It was fun while it lasted and I enjoyed it thoroughly, but what you're looking at right here, this isn't including the parts, controllers, just the immense amount of stuff that I spent trying to build a YouTube channel around RCs because I thought it was fun and cool, and I thought it could be something that I could do with my son that would be exciting. Now, mind you, he still likes RC cars, but not like he used to, and I think I more or less pushed him into it because I liked it, and I used it as a justification for, you know, buying toys. Um, this is the thing, guys. A lot of guys will say, "Oh, that's not a toy. That's a real RC car." Well, it's made out of plastic. It still uses an electric motor. It still uses electric controllers. It's still radio powered, just like the one you buy at Walmart for $30, but you're not spending $300 on an RC car. This one right here alone was I think it was $350 for an RC car. It doesn't even run right now. None of these run. None of these have working servos, working ECUs, nothing. I think I can plug this one in and I have a reverse motor in it and it'll go like 2 miles an hour when it used to do like 30. But this is what happens when you don't have that reality, the connective link between you and the thing that you're trying to do, your goal. Okay, this is what happens. I started Gem City RC, and it totally flunked. I thought it was going to be something that would pick up steam and really get somewhere, and I tried. I had some buddies that bought RC cars, and we all tried to like go RCing and stuff. I don't even know if that channel's still alive. It might be, but I haven't touched it in years, so I have no idea if it even exists anymore. But either way, guys, it was fun while it lasted, but it wasn't a good goal because I didn't have an end game for it. I didn't have any kind of planning ahead or anything. I just kind of went out and bought RC cars and thought it would be fun and cool, and it was a really big waste at this point. These cars have been sitting, these RC trucks have been sitting in my basement for, God, over a year now, unfortunately, collecting dust because I don't do it anymore. I've moved on to something I'm really passionate about, and I have a good goal now. So that is part of it. There's also something to be wary of. It's called the investment deception, which is, you know, okay, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna do this, but I'm gonna wait. You know, a lot of people call it procrastination, but really, you want to make an investment, but you're kind of like holding back. You know, you're playing your options. You're playing it slow, and you know, oh, I don't know if it's gonna really work or not, and blah 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 blah. You know. But if you want better results, you need to start sooner, or you have to start, you know, right now. You really do have to start right now. If you guys have a goal in mind right now, you need to start right now, not in a couple months, not in a week, not in a day. You need to start right now. Start planning it. Start writing it down and saying, okay, this is what I'm going to do. If there's something you're passionate about, and even if it's in BMX, guys, like you want to learn a new trick, then try to start figuring out how to learn the new trick. You're on YouTube. You have the best tool in your hands to learn a new trick. There's so many how-to videos on how to do bar spins or how to do 180s or how to do half cabs or tail whips or really whatever freaking trick you want to learn. There's a how-to for that. There really is. Or let's say you're a really good expert rider and you're like, oh, there's no other tricks I can do. Go do a cash roll. And tell me there's not a video out there to figure out how to do a cash roll, because there is. There's videos on pro riders learning how to do cash rolls, and you can learn from them ways to experience it and try to figure out how to do that trick. And that's a professional trick, mind you. So there are ways to, there is no end to your learning. That's the other thing. I mean, BMX, doesn't matter what sport it is. There's no end to your learning. So don't ever give yourself that deception that, oh, I'm getting too good at this, or I'm at the peak of, I'm at that plateau. There's no such thing as a plateau. I love when people say that, oh, I'm plateaued. I've got it all. I'm good where I'm at. You're never good where you're at. If you are good where you're at, you're too comfortable. And you need to figure out why you're comfortable and what the next thing is to make you uncomfortable, to motivate you to move forward. Because you are not plateaued, you're just being lazy. You got to your goal and you stopped and you said, I don't need to do anything else. No, you do. You need to keep on going. So I think that kind of goes back to this point. Focus. You need to zero in on the things that you want. Going back to that, where you need to focus in on what you want out of your goals, out of your life. I mean, there's a lot of ways that you can make, fitness goals. You can make goals in your life to make your life easier, for sure. So, you also need a compelling scoreboard, and this is important too. You need to measure your goal noticeably. If you guys can give me just a minute, I apologize, but I think Maverick has stirred and I gotta get him back to sleep. So give me just a minute, guys. This is the awesome part about being a father. Give me just a second. All right, ladies and gents, so I'm back. It's the wonders of being a father, folks. I don't know why I apologized. That's part of being a dad. You gotta take care of your kids. So he stirred. Wife's already asleep. That's how I do these videos. It's either when he's taking a nap or when my wife's asleep. From now on, it's going to be when wife and the kids are asleep is when I'm going to be able to do these videos. So, and work on my business. But going back to what we were talking about, I believe we were talking about making a compelling scoreboard. Like I said before, we talked about how YouTube makes that easy for me. But there's other ways to do that as well, which I'll explain to you in my goals. So we'll get to that here very shortly. Because this video is starting to get just a little long-winded. I want to kind of shorten it down a little bit. But let's put it this way. Proximity took about an hour, almost an hour and a half, I believe. It was a pretty good session, but it just takes a while to get through it all. And I'm kind of making a summarized version of this, so that way it's not so long. Leverage. Things that make the most difference that you can control. So you got to have leverage toward whatever you're doing. So for me, things that I can control is my timing. When I can do YouTube videos, when I can do stuff with my bikes, spending time with my family, which not always controllable. Sometimes things change, kids get sick. Plans change, but that's the great thing about YouTube is there's nobody really holding me crazy accountable to, hey, you gotta put out these videos. There's no one doing that. So if I miss a schedule, it's not a big deal, unlike a big media outlet where if they're doing a news channel thing, they have to have coverage. There is no blackout date for the news, really. So again, going back to accountability is the next one, making sure that someone there is responsible for your goals. For my YouTube channel and my business, I really am going to ask you guys to help me with this. I really want my YouTube subscribers to help me, hold me accountable to this. For my son and his baseball team, it's going to be his coach, the head coach, is going to hold me accountable for that. But for the YouTube channel and for my business, it's really you guys here on YouTube giving me suggestions, helping me improve my channel and improve my business. I'm looking for that advice from you guys. So anytime you want to chime in the comments, I'm more than willing to hear you out. So please feel free to do that. So the next thing that we're going to go over is my actual goals. So forgive me guys, I'm going to actually read off the list. I actually keep this down in the basement on my wall so that way I can see what my goals are for the year. And it's really been awesome so far. So my first goal was a used BMX business online. It's my biggest passion, and it's also like the bike shop and brewery thing. That's future planning for that. I was thinking to myself, like, how am I going to pay for this business, this bike shop and brewery that I want to do? And the biggest thing that came to me was, well, I love working on bicycles and I love working on used BMX bikes, and I want to provide for the next generation of kids. And there's just a lot to it. So let's go through this. Vital behaviors was I put down going to purchase bikes this Sunday. As soon as they're home, I'm going to start working on them, which I did. Scoreboard. In basement, make a chart of bought and sold bikes. um, and let's see, put the profit back into the business. So obviously, guys, I haven't sold a bike yet. I've been buying a lot of bikes, and I haven't really given myself a set of limits yet on how many bikes I'm going to purchase before I start selling them, which is starting to get kind of scary. That's why I started. I don't know if you guys saw, but especially this week, we started talking about the kink and getting it put together so I can sell it to buy more bikes. I might buy some more bikes with my own money, but right now I'm just trying to figure out the most cost-effective way to really get this business starting to roll and make some profits, so that way I can keep the business rolling and hopefully be able to eventually pay for the bike shop and brewery out of this money and start that business and get the ball rolling on that. So my second goal I haven't been doing very good at. Just to be 100% honest, I got away from this goal, let it get away from me, and it's really because I didn't have anyone to hold me accountable. Going back to my first goal, I already explained it to you guys, for accountability, was you guys on YouTube. Commenting. Also, what holds me accountable is looking at the numbers and the metrics and saying, okay, how do I improve this? So, but my next goal was working out, which not doing good. I was doing okay, but then I just flunked really hard. I stopped doing it. I did it for like a week, like most people do around New Year's, and then I just totally crapped out, which I'm kind of disappointed in myself, and I'm ready to get back into the swing of things, which hopefully with this new opportunity I will be able to do so. But my why was to make myself flexible enough to perform tricks on my bike I've never done before. I noticed that I struggle, especially as a taller rider, in doing some certain things, but also it's because of just my body in general. As you guys see in the videos, you guys can see, I mean, yeah, cameras add some weight to you, but I weigh about 200 pounds and I'm 6'1", which isn't horrifically bad. However, it is still making my riding quite strenuous sometimes. Especially in these winter months when I should be working out and doing even more to supplement my lack of riding, and I'm not doing anything is really, really sad, to be honest. It says here, I need to be more disciplined and not make any excuses. I don't feel like I made excuses, I just stopped doing it, which is just as bad as excuses. And my scoreboard will be keeping a trick list in my wallet. A lot of guys do this. They'll keep a trick list on them, so that when they're out riding, they can accomplish new tricks that they plan on doing, which I haven't put one of those in my wallet yet, so maybe that would help motivate me to work out. Okay, next goal was growing my YouTube channel. This kind of goes along with the used BMX business because it's part of my YouTube channel kind of thing. My why is so that I can reach out to others and hopefully influence others, which I hope I do influence you guys. Let me know in the comments below if I do or not. I'm really curious at that, to be honest. I really am. Vital behaviors is definitely try to be original. I try to always be original, be myself with you guys. I think that's really important to me, to always come off to you guys as my normal, like if you were to see me in public, this is exactly how I would be. It's no different. I could meet you in person, I could have 1 million viewers, and I'd still act the exact same as I do today, because really monetization and the money that comes from YouTube just doesn't really equate to much to me right now. But even when it does equate to me, I really don't want to make it something where this channel changes me. I really want to make it more something that hopefully I can make changes, even if it's the slightest one, an inspiration to some other kid or somebody else that wants to do YouTube or wants to ride BMX or do the stuff that I do. I hope to be that catalyst that helps them push forward and do it. So I really, need you guys to hold me accountable to this stuff. And then, like I said, I can use, as far as the scoreboard, I can use the YouTube dashboard, and that's scoreboard enough once I start seeing subscribers, which I've seen a couple more in the last couple weeks. Thank you guys for subscribing. I really, really appreciate it. It's really awesome to see that, to see the growth in just the last couple of weeks, to be honest. It's really awesome. And then my last goal is, I think, the most important goal to me currently, which is coaching my son's baseball team. And my why is because I love watching my son play and his teammates play. I think it's really cool to see young kids working as a team to do something that they love to do. And I wish that there was more of this in the sport of BMX. I feel like it lacks. When we all get into a big group, when we go to an event or something like that, BMX bikers are always together and they're always nailing it, which is awesome. But when we're just on our daily lives and daily thing, we're not really working as a team, I don't feel like. And I know BMX is a more individual sport, but it would be nice to see, there's already the family model there, but I think it's more important to start, writing to those people, even if it's on YouTube. Write other YouTubers, I do, other BMX YouTubers, write in their comment sections. Talk to them about BMX. This is what we want. We want connectivity. That's the whole idea of a social network. Socialize with each other about this stuff. But going back to coaching my son's team, vital behaviors is show up to meetings and make every practice, which I have done so far this season. Scoreboard is my son, the team, and their progress. If they're not progressing and they're not learning anything, then I'm not doing my job as a coach or a dad. I need to be there for these kids and help them learn and help them grow, even though I don't know a whole ton about baseball. But that's why the accountability is on the head coach. He just holds me accountable. He holds me to it. He makes sure that I am on my toes and helping out where I can, and that's just the most important thing to me. So anyways, guys, that is the goals, how to unsuck your goals, and these are my goals. So do yourself a favor, write yourself a list, take a little bit of time, write down my why, vital behaviors, scoreboard, and accountability, and what your goal is, and go through that list and decide what your goals are going to be for the year. It's the end of January. There's still time. There's still plenty of time. You can still make a turnaround on this year. It's still early in the year. So don't fail yourself out yet. If you started something, figure out a way to finish it. And we'll catch you guys next time in Thursday Thoughts. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and make sure you leave some comments below. If you like this video, let me know. Definitely let me know. It's easier to hit the like button if you're in a rush, but I really want to hear your feedback. So make sure you leave some comments below, and we'll catch you next time on Hybrid BMX. Deuces.